In 2026, we've lost over 200,000 cybersecurity and IT jobs, and the year 2026 isn't even over yet. So in this video, if you give me 10 minutes, I'm going to try and help you be able to get back into the workforce, if not for the first time ever getting into the workforce. So without further ado, my name's Matthew Napier. We just hit 500 subscribers. Thank you so much. And if you like the content, subscribe. For your resume, you don't have to do anything fancy. For that matter, if you have so much information on a piece of paper, it's just going to become overwhelming. All you have to do is make it extremely simple. Start with your name at the top, an address or rather location, a phone number, your email address, and then get immediately into it. Start off with your skills. Try to make them preferably tuned around the job. I understand that it's really annoying for all these different jobs, so try to keep them as wide range as possible that you know is used. For certifications, have it directly underneath, because usually what ends up happening is recruiters are immediately looking for certifications. What do you have? What don't you have? What do we need to go from here? Try to go from highest weight to lower weight in terms of your certifications, so that way then they're able to figure out what's your biggest certs. Now for me, for example, it depends, but typically what I'll do is inside the certifications working towards CISSP. The next thing is with work experiences, you don't want to make it long and you want to make your resume condensed to around 2 to 3 pages, preferably 2. So in experience, I have the most latest experience and I only have bullet points. The most important bullet points that were there when I was inside the United States Air Force, the amount of time I served, why I left, which was a medical discharge, and end of story. Then over here though, you can see that I've kind of switched over from level design into cybersecurity. Am I working for a cybersecurity job now? Yes, and you can see here how for you guys who you more than likely have so much more experience than me, you can see how as a level designer, I can actually go into a cybersecurity job / positioning. So here you can see, for example, in my level designer positions, I have, for example, Unreal Engine 5. So I'm mentioning that I know this tool. I've done world partitioning, data layers, runtime virtual texturing. I'm being very technical in terms of my explanations to be able to describe what I've done. Furthermore, I've showcased a map at Gamescom. I've designed, created, optimized. I've ensured FPS. So that way, essentially, if someone doesn't understand what any of this means, they're still able to see that I'm a very technical person. Finally, because my education is not cyber-based, I have it towards the bottom. But if I did have it in terms of IT being a computer science degree or something else at the top, I would actually put it next to my certifications as well, so that way it kind of pops out that I have that degree right off the bat. Finally, I have personal projects, that way they can be looked into and the reasoning that I place them, as well as personal gaming achievements, so they can see that I just care about being the best / the top, whatever else I want to state. The next important one that's honestly looked at quite a bit is your website. So, for example, if I go to my website right now, unlike yours, you're going to notice that I have my name immediately pop up at the top, some brief animation, just a moment, some cool type of access granted, but it's not so much that's cringy, it's just like, okay, we're going somewhere. I have visitor, recruiter, shopper. Because I have a bunch of visitors all the time going to my website, then if they go to visitor side, then they're able to see me and who I am, information about me, cybersecurity, yada, yada, yada. If I go to, for example, shopper, they're able to go to my shop, and next thing you know, they're able to see everything going on. But if you're a recruiter, then you have immediately what's in front of you called the short version. So immediately recruiters are like, okay, this is going to be very brief. I have a resume link in red that pops to make them want to see it, as well as an email me. I have the certifications being stated, the tools, the years in cybersecurity that I've actually been doing, and then I have my actual work with my verified credentials at the bottom, what transfers on the explanations on certain systems I have, my schooling, self-projects, and then the Let's Talk, as well as technical write-ups on said wiki, which honestly are not really that technical right now, but it's all showing as who I am. Now, the reason why I do this in terms of the website is because it allows me to basically be able to go and say, hey, this is who I am. Here's my website. Here's my full name. Bam. There you go. Someone has it. Now, you can do cool things with your website, like this one right here. But the issue is you have to make sure that the user knows where they're going to, what's going on. Some of these websites are way too crazy. But one of the coolest ones I've ever seen for even, for example, game design is literally a video game inside of your web browser that actually goes to all of his different locations. The problem with this is that it's so all over the place, you don't know where to go. You don't know how to realistically do anything on this guy's website. But it's so cool, you're like, okay, he definitely knows game design, right? So you want to do something like that with IT if you're going to actually have a website, which leads me to my next point. Your LinkedIn matters. Now, a lot of people will just overlook their LinkedIn and call it a day. LinkedIn is basically more or less an extremely terrible place, especially if you're in the tech field. However, it's also the most useful place at the same time. The reason being is because if you put too much on there, you're susceptible to OSINT. But at the same time, if you don't put enough, you're not discoverable by recruiters. So what I personally do is put what I'm useful in, such as SEAM, my Security Plus, Security X, inside of my description. I would put in, for example, that I'm looking for work here. I'm going in my About page. I'm doing the exact same thing, essentially, just going about it. My experience is the exact same thing. I'm going down the entire list. I'm putting it in like it's my resume. Same with education. Same with certifications. Same with skills. You name it. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to get a lot of people actually contacting you, depending on how you do it. But how do they contact you on LinkedIn? Well, they have to first find you. And if they can't find you on LinkedIn, then what inevitably happens is someone else gets the job. The next problem is a really big one that people are just spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on and not knowing what to do or where to go. The big one that you need to be focusing on here is the certifications that you're actually going to aim for, such as even what I'm trying to personally go for myself, even though I really can't just be asked to study at this point. You need to go for your CompTIA Security Plus. Your Security Plus is basically a requirement no matter where you go. No matter what, you have to get your Security Plus. Jobs are constantly looking for it. Don't worry about your Network Plus. Don't worry about your CISA Plus. Don't worry about any other certification. Get your Security Plus, okay? Then after that, what you can do is, if you really can do it, if you already have experience in IT, skip every other CompTIA certification and just go for the Security X. And just go for the Security X. There's no point in doing all these other certifications with CompTIA and spending hundreds and thousands of dollars to do it. I jumped from Security Plus all the way to Security X, and I had no issues whatsoever with it, provided I had experience, but at the same point in time, just keep that in mind. The next one that I would suggest you do is a CCNA, and then finally, if you already have 5 years of experience, the golden crowning jewel of a resume, which is your CISSP. If you can knock out your CISSP, you're done. You don't have to worry about any more of these certifications or anything else for that matter. But let's say you have your CISSP. Let's say you have your certifications. Let's say if you have your website. Let's say you've already done all this. You've watched all these different YouTube videos. Getting in contact directly with companies. A lot of companies nowadays are using AI to go through their paperwork. They're using bots to go through their paperwork. And it's just getting mixed in the crossfire. What you have to figure out is what companies are able to contact directly and figure it out from there. Because remember, you're against 200,000 other people who are constantly trying to find jobs. Sure, it's not specifically 200,000 because of your location and the specific job and everything else that's being applied to. But what you end up doing is you're going to the same websites. You're going to the LinkedIn. You're Googling jobs in IT. You're not finding the really niche type of websites that are specifically for said area. You need to find those ones, apply from there. You need to contact the agency directly, or even better, go to the company, bring something, bring a box of donuts, bring something and say, hey, I'm here because I'd like to apply for X, Y, and Z job, and see if you can do it. Now, granted, that's probably not going to work for a security job inside of a very big Fortune 500 company, but it will work in lower sized companies, especially if you, for example, are trying to apply at, say, a hospital or something else of that nature. You will be able to get in contact directly with a hiring manager that way. And because you went above and beyond, you're going to instantly jump at the front of the list. The other harsh truth is that right now, a lot of cybersecurity is being phased out, and same thing with IT. There's there's been a lot of shifting over from manual work to now automation because of AI. So because of that, what I would highly recommend you do is actually start looking into how Claude works, looking how ChatGPT works, looking into how you can actually use these tools to your advantage. Now you have to be the person that can create the elevator, if you will, that can be able to maintain the elevator. And that's why there's kind of a shift into networking. For example, there's all these data centers that are constantly popping out. They need maintainers, they need networkers, things of that nature. So you can definitely find a job. It's just extremely difficult, especially in the scene when so many other people are losing their jobs. You have to be the one that shines at the very top. Anyways, guys, my name is Matthew Napier. I hope this video helps you. I hope you're able to find a job. If this advice is actually useful, unlike other YouTubers, please let me know, and let me know how I can do better.